Okay, so my name is James Williamson. I'm gonna make this video before I go to work. It very well wind up being a two-part video. Alright, so every now and again I do touch on some shit that's important. And in the lighting of the Valentine's Day Massacre, if you want to call it that, down in Florida, I want to talk some real shit, And I'm saying this because I was a victim of high school bullying. Hell, I'm a victim of college bullying right now. There is certain people in certain classes that tend to think it's okay to still pick on people, even though we're all grown and in college. Now, unfortunately, I won't mention what this person's career is because I'm not in the policy of ruining people's lives on purpose. But I will say his career is very authoritarian. Excuse me, I didn't say that right. Authoritarian. The motherfucker has a position of authority. Alright? But it's still prevalent that he chooses to pick on me, and his position of authority could have me incarcerated. So it's a reason why I choose not to retaliate in public. However, social media is free. Now, I'm not going to mention this young man's name because he's younger than me, and when my law book comes in, oh, I can do some serious payback because those who enforce the law don't always know the law in which they're enforcing. So, leaving that on this, here's what this video is about. This video is about what makes a person insane, what makes a person a psychopath, what makes a person psychotic. So, I'm going to go with my own personal experience because I'm probably borderline all of these four things. I'm probably borderline insane. I'm probably borderline psychopath. I'm probably borderline psychotic. And I'm definitely a sociopath. You know, if you don't know these things about yourself, then you're the ones who probably need to go get in the straitjackets. I know these things about myself because I have the martial art discipline to not have snapped by now. Now, I say that because all through school, through grade school, through middle school, through high school, and now even in college, I have been getting bullied. Now, unfortunately, it is illegal for me to physically assault people because that can give you anywhere between 15 and 20 years, depending on the person and who you assault with your fist or your feet. As a martial artist, I am not a registered black belt, but I have beaten many of black belts. Now, I brought this up because of the simple fact that no one knows what a psychotic person is capable of until it's too fucking late. As henceforth, the little incident in Florida, the incident in Blacksburg, both of them in Virginia Tech, the incidences in Charlottesville in general, the August 12th, and before that with the Morgan Harrington, the Alexis Murphy, and the other one that came in between. I can't think of her name right now, and I'm sorry for that to her and her family. And no one really knew that Mr. Matthews was a psychopath or a sociopath or a psychotic person. And most people who are insane and don't know it are the most dangerous people on the planet. The people who are insane and do know it are just that one crack away from just having enough. Now, the reason why I have a little bit more disciplinarian skills on not snapping is because no one knows what a person's situation is that drives them into being a psychotic or a sociopath or completely insane or a psychopath. Now, I know you guys thinking, what's the difference between a psychopath and a psychotic person? Alright, well, a psychopath is really just a motherfucker that's psycho. Now, a psychopath is like that step above being a psychotic person where you just go around and don't give a fuck. And then there's insane. Right? You can be insane and do insane shit. A lot of people would say a lot of wrestlers are insane for the career that they choose, and it's generally an adrenaline rush to see people like Jeff Hardy do the swanton off the turnbuckle or off the rafters because he does some insanely crazy shit. Then that does not make him borderline crazy. It does not make him insane. It just means he's an adrenaline jockey who puts life and limb on the line for something that he loves. And that in itself can also be determined as psychotic or completely insane. But when the adrenaline is pumping, there are a lot of things that are working at that time. And 9 out of 10, your mind game is probably the strongest thing working because I hope I can survive this. Is probably one of the things that flies through Jeff Hardy's brain every time he does a swanton bomb from somewhere more than 40 feet off the ground. Yes, some of those raptors that he's crashed on top of RVD was more than some 40 feet off the ground, pushing the limits of human body mechanics to the ultimate risk. Now, a psychopath. Alright, a psychopath and a person who's psychotic are almost the same, because people would think that Batman himself was a psychopath or a psychotic person, but he is driven by a hunger for justice and vengeance, which walks the thin line, because vengeance is basically the flip side of justice, where, there are some things that fall into that, like a justifiable homicide. Now, justifiable homicide could be the situation where I'm gone away, you rape and kill my wife and my daughter, we go to court, and they find you innocent. There's no DNA, there's nothing, there's no forced entry. Then I find you, and I nail your hands to the wall, and make you talk by placing a well-placed nail in each one of your pressure points or orifices, or somewhere that can manipulate your body into deciding your pain or your pleasure threshold will eventually give up, and you will either confess and sing like a canary, like my shirt, or you bleed out. So if you killed my wife and raped my daughter, and my daughter lives and tells me that you did it, but the cops and them don't accept that as the answer, and I go around totally fucking killing your shit, it's a justifiable homicide. However, the courts may see that differently, because if I don't do it like the day I find out, then I've had time to plan it, which borderlines that first degree murder line. So, if you, let me flip that script. Let's say you and my wife are having an affair, and I walk in on you in mid-stroke while she's cowgirling the shit out of you, and I come in and I just jump right on top of you and start beating the fuck out of the both of you, and you both die. That's a justifiable homicide. But if I go back down that hallway and pick up a knife, then it's murder, because I went down the hallway and got a knife and had every intention to come back down there and stabbing the shit out of the both of you. That there is a homicide. Now, the reason why it's different is because I went down that hallway, which the courts would consider that was more than enough time for me to keep walking. That was more than enough time for me to have a cool-off period of adjustment and keep walking. Now, if I walk in the room and there's a knife, now, in my room, I've got plenty of these things just lying around. This is my gigantic Gerber. Now, it's usually for cutting down trees and shit. I have a Gerber. I have a bow and arrow. Now, that would probably be considered a homicide, because I have to load this bitch to actually use it. And I'm just knocking all kinds of shit down trying to put this thing back up, which is not how I had planned that, but okay. Now, according to the law, since I would have to load that, it's not like it's a gun, I'd have to pull back the string. That gives me time to cool off. This is in my room somewhere, it's ready and available. So it's that one, and this one. I don't know where that key goes. This one. So, key right here, so I'll be able to find it. And this one. So, I just threw 5 knives out of my drawer. Now, some of them are laying around the room in a ready and available position. This is not a confession to murder, but this is a point being made. If the weapon is already in the room, and I grab it, like I walk right in here, and see my wife riding the hell out of another man, and I just take the knife and, I was crime of passion rage, which will probably not give me as much time as if I go down the hallway, grab the first kitchen knife I see, come back down the hallway, and then gut them to pieces. So again, what drives a person to become these things? I'm sure you can't read them because they're backwards, so I'll read them out for you. Insane, psychopath, psychotic, sociopath. Alright? Now, like I said, for me, I've been bullied all my life. If it has something to do with me being short, or not knowing what the hell my ethnicity is, or people just being assholes, or people just bullying me because they're missing something in their life and they have no intention of trying to fix it. So to make themselves feel better, they want to pick on the smallest guy in the room, which is also generally the biggest target wherever you go. Now, the fact that I haven't snapped, there's two reasons that keeps me from doing something incredibly stupid. One, I love my motherfucking freedom. Let's keep that in mind right then and there. I love my freedom. I'm not giving up my freedom because I decided to fuck somebody up because they're fucking my wife. Sorry. Two. Two is not as important as one, but two is very important. Once you take a life, you can't get it back. Only God can do that. And a very good medical person. Sorry, choking on my Snickers. Good tea. So anyway, I think that I haven't snapped. I think that my inner strength and my love for my freedom is what keeps me grounded. But the problem is, I've been fighting since I was 7 years old. Well, I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old. I've been literally street fighting since I was 6. Not cool. But it can't be undone. Now, the reason, I'm only 5'3.5", and a lot of people have picked on me. But they've only picked on me in school. They've never showed up at any park, at any place that they've put a challenge out for me to yeah, it's gonna be fucked up if I die from a Snickers on here, right? Well, they've never showed up at a park to fight, but they issued a challenge. I guess they were afraid that I'm so short that I wouldn't show up. Or they could use the excuse was that, oh, you showed up? You're so short I couldn't even see you there. Yeah, I've gotten them a lot too. And I was like, motherfucker, you ain't show up. I stayed there all goddamn day. Now, where were you at? Now, you challenged me to a fight at Belmont. You challenged me to a fight at Washington Park. You challenged me to a fight at Forest Hill. Oh, you better bet your sweet ass I'm gonna be there. And even if I get my ass kicked, I'm gonna fucking be there. Because I said I'm gonna be there. And my word is everything to me. You know, it's all I have. Literally, it's all I have. So if I tell you I'm gonna do something, you better bet your sweet ass I'm gonna do it. Now, as for these events, like in high school, I was bullied so bad, really, really so bad, that I took these things to school. I took them to school, and if you watched any of my other videos, y'all know I'm the Nunchuck King. And these were the exact pair. At the time, they didn't have the electrical tape wrapped around them, but you know, these were the pair. Got a little mud on them. These was the pair that I took to school because I wanted to have this blessing of this dragon up against someone's face a few times. And I mean, I took it. And this is like the 11th grade was the last year. Anybody except for like the 12th grade and Mrs. Stapleton's class was the real last time anybody ever fucked with me. But in the 11th grade, in Miss Jones' class, her biology class, it was the last time that anybody was going to get in my face and say shit to me and get away with it. That was it. That was like the last time. I wasn't going to take it anymore. Now, you go to school for approximately 9.5 months, more or less, give or take, because spring break's a week off, Christmas is 2 weeks off, so about 9.5 to 10 months. Let's see, September. The hell comes after September? September, October, November, December. You only go for like a week or two in December, and then you're back in January. That's like the last week, or the first 2 weeks of January. Well, you got 3 weeks in January, depending on your school system. February, March, April. Spring break somewhere between April and May. So here's May, and then you go to like a week in June. So about 9.5 months, give or take a couple of weeks off. So 9.5 months. And these guys on the football team and the basketball team and whatever the fuck sport academics they were doing would pick on me daily. And the teacher, Miss Jones, yeah, I'm going to out you, did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. And it might have been a skin tone thing because my true color's up here. And if I wasn't at work or outside training, this is how light my skin was. Now I'm outside all the time, so this is way darker than this. And I trained every day, religiously. I trained until I almost passed out because that's how good I need to be because I'm only 5'3.5". So, they picked on me on a fucking daily. Little shit. Anything you could find a reason to pick on me, they found it. I washed, they said I stink. They tried to say I was having incest sex with my sisters, all that shit. A couple of the guys, would find ways to find something to pick on me about. And even race became a factor because I'm not dark enough. So, I eventually had reached fuck it. So, therefore, I took my nunchucks to school. And I said, this is the last day any of these motherfuckers are ever going to pick on me. Any of them. So, class started with them picking on me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all all what's about to happen today. So, today is the last day y'all motherfuckers ever going to pick on me. Because I know Kung Fu, and I have put up with your shit long enough that I done brought these nunchucks to school in this bag. And when that goddamn bell rings, I'm going to the hospital. Without question, y'all probably gonna whoop my ass. But I ain't going by my goddamn self. I'm taking some of you motherfuckers with me. And some of y'all ain't never gonna play sports no goddamn more. Your shit's done today. So then I said, you know what? I ain't even gonna use these nunchucks. I'm just gonna fuck y'all up. I said, you got 365 pressure points in the human body. 250 will kill you dead. And I'm fixing on killing a couple of you motherfuckers today. That goddamn bell rung and I threw my oversized backpack out in the hallway and I posted up like the Rock and said, let's do this shit. And all 7 of those motherfuckers ran. Now, before that, there was an incident with one of them in a B&R Market store. He swore to me he wouldn't fuck with me anymore. He was one of the lead guys that started that shit again. So, of course, he ran. He's currently taking a martial art. He's in a local commercial. It's all good. He still can't whoop my ass. And if he sees this, hey, the field is still open, son. So that's your open challenge for that. And cripple or not, I'm still a fighter. I guess for those who don't know, I had a hip replacement. Yeah, that scar is real. Now, I haven't done martial arts in 3 years because the doctors have not allowed me to do anything outside of walk and fart. But it's service connected. In fact, it's the reason why I kind of really didn't get to stay in the service. But we didn't figure all that out because that place dropped the ball. McGuire picked up the ball and fixed me as best they could. So like I said, what drives people to become a sociopath, a psychopath, a psychotic person, or insane? Things like that happens. And you don't know what a person's situation is that can make them go crazy. Stay tuned for part 2.